Hi, I'm Tom Hughes. Thanks for watching Red Wings Channel 6. Paul Drotos, Red Wings Environmental Officer, is retiring at the end of December. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about his career. 15 years, right?
That is correct. And
Wow.
let me start out by saying, Tom, that there is only one great retirement speech, and that was made by Lou Gehrig. And if you remember, that speech was pretty basic. He said, "I feel like the luckiest man in the world." And to be honest, that's how I feel about my career with the city of Red Wing.
Really nice.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to work with some fantastic people and serve the public and also share concerns and make some progress in environmental issues, which I think is very, very important.
I think in your position, it's nice to know that a lot of people know who you are, too.
Well, we worked really hard to in education, and I think the highlights of my career have been very often in the classroom where we were actually interacting and trying to teach kids about how important the environment is and what they can do to make the world a better place and certainly more sustainable.
Isn't it important to get in and talk to the kids when they're younger and then they grow into adults that are supposedly remember some of that?
Well, I think it's completely it's important, and I think when you remember years ago, people had to be taught not to litter. So, I mean, now we just have to move that up a step and just have more respect and tolerance for the environment.
Because I remember Give a Hoot, Don't Pollute, Woodsy Owl.
Sure.
And I remember Smokey Bear. So those are things that I saw as a kid, and I still remember them now 10 years later.
Well, I understand that thought, but Tom, to be honest, I think you hit on probably the high point of my career in Red Wing as far as environmentally, and that was Reuben the Blue Bin has been just a fantastic thing for this community and for the recycling movement. I was listening to a podcast back in 2006 from a lady in Laurentian, Ontario, which is north of Toronto, and she said that the only way to increase recycling rates was to actually advertise. And her thought was that if you could put a program, an advertising program together, including even a mascot, that's the way to get people interested. So you mentioned Smokey and Woodsy, but
Yeah.
To be honest, my son's middle name is Reuben, so the idea of Reuben the Blue Bin wasn't too far off the front burner. But thanks to some help and paying attention to that program, I contacted that lady. Her recycling hero was called Betty the Blue Box. And thanks to some people in Toronto called Madewell Costumes and the Duff Endowment and Kelsey Van Duzen, who helped write the grant for that, we put all that together, and in 2008 we saw Reuben the Blue Bin come to life in the River City Days Parade for the first time.
And we've seen them a lot since then.
Well, my favorite thing every year is to go talk to kindergarten kids because they certainly understand the basics of reduce, reuse, and recycling, even as kindergartners. So to actually have them meet Reuben and sing him a happy birthday because his birthday is Earth Day, I mean, that to me is it's just a wonderful experience. And I've had lots of help and lots of people that have shared wearing the costume. And Neil Newman lately has been doing that for us, and it's just a great thing for kindergartners. And then they get to go out and see a recycling truck and put the stuff in and lift it up and hear the big
fun.
machine. So
Yeah.
that always is a fun thing for the kindergartners and for that program.
Is there any particular year that's a good year for you? I mean, they were all good years, but was there one that really sticks out for you?
Well, I think my favorite year, and of course, everybody goes to work every day, and Public Works is always busy doing things. But 2007 in Red Wing was kind of a magic year for me, and I think for a lot of people. That was our sesquicentennial year, and Mayor Doomer was just totally involved. If anybody wanted to volunteer and anybody wanted to participate, she was all for it. So, I mean, her encouragement made a lot of people do a lot of different things. So I had the great opportunity to be Mayor Pierce in the community birthday party, which was kind of fun. Mayor Pierce was one of the most, or the longest elected public official, and was around when the post office and the Y and a lot of the foundational buildings at Red Wing were built. So he was a fun character to participate and be part of that. And getting to be the MC in that program was just a wonderful opportunity for me. Also, there are a lot of other things going on in 2007. We put together a time capsule, which turned out to be a very interesting and fun project. I got to meet a lot of people, and there are some kids in Red Wing which will be receiving a letter that they wrote to themselves in 50 years from that date, so that was kind of a fun project. Anyway, I worked with Charhan on that project, and we had a lot of fun, just got a lot of input from citizens.
How about the Croc?
The Croc was, well, you know what? We had seen the giant boots come to Red Wing a couple years before, and people had talked about the giant, Chicago had some giant sculptures. So the idea came to me that, we've already done boots, so we better think about our pottery industry. And it was a fantastic project, Tom. We had support from just the private community, work with various clubs, and anyway, Everett Smith, we had to get a prototype. It cost $500, and I'll never forget. Everett Smith said to me, "Just do it," and that's pretty much how it happened. And we worked with community people, and it was a big hit. We thought that the most we could sell ever would be 1,200 Crocs, which we ordered, and we sold. People got a big kick out of them. We had a big parade after they were all sold, and people planted them in the Sesquicentennial Parade. It was called the Parade of Crocs. People brought in their planted Crocs, and we had a $100 prize and a lot of honorable mentions. So people took that to heart. They're still around town. You can still see them. We sold, like I said, 1,200, and that money that we raised for that project was the first grant that was given to the Universal Playground. We raised $5,000, and that was matched, so we ended up with $10,000 to start that project.
And that's down at Caldwell Park, right?
Caldwell Park, right. It's still there, and they just put a new floor in. It's a lot of fun for kids, and it's just a magnet for everybody to just take their kids and have a good time at Caldwell Park. So.
Okay, Paul, retirement. I'm doing it like that because that's what my retirement is all about.
Well, I think the most important thing is to keep active. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. Thanks to my time with the city and a lot of volunteer operations, including the Lions Club, the Elks Club, and a lot of things like that, I'm not really too worried about that aspect of retirement. As you know, I am a county commissioner currently, and I'm looking forward to participating in that and learning more about that job, which is something that needs more attention. So I'm just excited about the prospect of having a 3,000 or 4,000 day vacation, Tom.
Yeah, okay, good luck with that. Thanks.
No, I sincerely want to thank all the people of Red Wing, and certainly my bosses, and the encouragement I've had from the city, and generally, if you have a good idea and if it makes sense and if it makes people feel better and you can serve the public, I think the city of Red Wing is a great place to work. I've had a lot of encouragement. I've had a lot of structure. And most of all, I've had a lot of fun just trying to do the best job I could and getting support in that. So I don't think, like I said in the beginning, that I feel like the luckiest man in the world, and I mean it.
Boy, if you can have fun at work. And get paid, too? Wow.
Well, I think work is work, and seeing progress with the environment, certainly people's respect for the river and trying to recycle more and pay attention and be sustainable, those are things that I can be proud of, and I can, I'm just thankful for that opportunity, Tom.
Yeah, good. It's been fun working with you, too. Paul Drotos, I'm Tom Hughes. Thanks for watching Red Wings Channel 6.